What's happening? Hey, I want to talk about these four agreements. Now, this Don Miguel Ruiz wrote this book, and it seems to be really, really important to keep things together or to get things together in your life. And the first agreement that you have with yourself, basically, is be impeccable with your word. Now, you stop and think about that. It's difficult to find a person that's really impeccable with their word. Now, that seems to be critical, and that seems to be a telltale sign of someone that you can rely on and someone you can trust and someone that's going to do the right thing is if they do what they say they're going to do. Because of, being under constant fear, you know, people can't do things to the highest level. And they don't really tell the truth. So their word is not like it appears. They'll be pretending all the time, and they'll be negative all the time. You know, I even catch myself being negative, but, I care about a lot of people and a lot of things and how things go. And I'm looking at somewhat parts of the negative in order to be positive. I know that sounds funny, but, if a person doesn't understand what they're doing, and you got to be a little negative to get them to be positive. You have to kind of warn them about what you think is going to take place. But it's to keep them impeccable with their word and not doing some off the wall stuff. The second thing in the agreements, to basically manage yourself and to correct yourself and to put yourself completely and fully into honor. The second thing is don't take anything personally. And that's difficult. That's difficult for people to do. They're so used to the drama. They're so used to everybody getting in everybody's business. They're so used to being negative about all of those things that have nothing to do with them. You know, so don't take anything personally. Very, very important. Now, the third thing in the four agreements are don't make assumptions about stuff. You know, everyone assumes they know what's going to happen. They assume they know what people are going to do. And making those assumptions and thinking that you can see the future and you can tell what's going to happen, in most cases, you're not right. You can't guess what's going to happen when you go into the court. You can't guess what's going to happen when you go down to put some kind of notice in or something. You just cannot guess. I've seen this over and over and over. And the fourth thing in the four agreements is always do your best. Always try to upgrade yourself or correct yourself or stay in honor and be all you can be. That old commercial back in the day where, you know, they said that most people in the military did more than what before 6 o'clock, before the normal person did all day. That's something to live by. If you can always do your best in everything, even if something bad happens, and you always try to do your best, you'll never, be down on yourself. You'll never have, negative things like saying I could have done better, or I should have done this, or I should have done that. All of that type of thinking will go away. So in reality, you're dreaming. You're dreaming all the time when you're awake and when you're asleep. And when you're awake, there's this framework of how everything is supposed to be. Okay? When you're asleep, that framework isn't there. That's your subconscious. So, understanding these four agreements, be impeccable with your word. Now, think about that. Don't take anything personally. Take a deep breath, shake it off. Don't make assumptions. Don't try to judge things. Try to take it as it comes, but try to be positive instead of negative. Always do your best, number 4. And always do your best after you do the other 3. The other 3 is be impeccable with your word. Don't take anything personally. don't make assumptions, and then number 4 is always do your best. Well, what that's saying really is take positive 100% action. Get something done, you know. And I've noticed in some cultures, the men just work 24/7. If they possibly can, they will work, 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 work. They got a nice house, they got a nice car, they got a nice truck, their children have everything they need, and they're just overwhelmed with goodness because these principles are already observed by some cultures already, So I think this is real important to look at these kinds of things in your own life. And most important thing is to take action to correct yourself on a daily basis. I hope you enjoyed this 4 agreements, and we'll talk to you soon.